Peace, family, peace. We back at you, brother Rich, aka Black Magic, King Simon. We waiting for Blue Pill. Welcome to the show, King Simon.
Welcome. Thank you very much, brother. How you feeling? Thank your audience all the time. Thank you for the support. I'm like your longest running ad on there. I'm the longest running advertiser,
Man,
brother. Hey,
man, King Simon is consistent with them ads.
well,
So
yeah, I do that because we've been out there in the streets together, man, and I just know what you mean to the culture. I know what you mean to the audience, and I know what you mean to me, brother. Not just me doing sessions for you and your wife and your child, but this is reciprocal energy, brother. This is how we circulate.
indeed,
Yeah. Yeah.
a great, interesting show we're having tonight.
Hmm.
I want everybody to hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. Also let everybody know we on live. This is one of the most important YouTube channels out there in the world right now.
That's
Talking
right.
about the things we talking about from the angle we talk about. So I want you to share it. I think this conversation will be extremely beneficial to a lot of people, especially this day and time. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Black Zionist, I see you, little goddess. All right. Everybody else in the chat, shout out to all of y'all. Ascending Keys Beats, K Diggs, American Negro. Shout out to all y'all. So we about to get into it, have a deep conversation, and also bring on my brother Blue Pill. Let me just put this here real quick. Give me 1 second, family. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, family. Yo, while I wait for this thing to load up, because I gotta show some ads. King, tell me about did you ever see since we talking about Roman Time Lords, did you see the Loki series on I think it was Netflix?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did
Okay.
see the series.
All right,
Man,
cool. We
haven't
gonna
seen it
get
in a while though, but I know it's haven't seen. Yeah, I
we,
started seeing it from the beginning. But I haven't
okay.
recapped myself on it. But yeah,
All right, so we about to get into a good show, family. But first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the everybody who's going to be at the Manifest Destiny 2022 virtual retreat. It's going to be off the hook, family. Times have changed. The energy has changed. More and more people are quitting their jobs. More and more people are looking to be sovereign. Sovereignty is the
mm.
key word. If you want to learn yoga, stock options, fitness, health, everything, make sure you come to that workshop, family. The link will be in the description. Also, shout out to blackmagicuniversity.com. Make sure you go check out some of the courses, family. Great courses on there available right now. And as we said a little while ago, my brother King Simon, one of the best people that I know personally when it comes to numerology. Make sure you text him your full name and date of birth, 347-496-1022. Yeah, that brother's one of the best when it comes to numerology. And we'll talk more about that in a second. But King, man, listen, I called you yesterday.
Yes,
I
sir.
told King Simon, I said, King, I said, you know what, King Simon, everything that's going on, the Ethiopian calendar said that, and Blue's going to give us a little history on
Yeah.
the Roman calendar, on the Gregorian calendar. But the
Mm.
Ethiopian calendar, oh, here go Blue Pill right here.
Oh yeah, bring my brother.
So, Blue, you can hear us, brother?
Yes, I can. Peace, brothers.
All right, all right.
Peace.
Welcome, Blue Pill. Welcome to the show. We just got started a couple of minutes ago.
Okay.
So as I was saying, the Ethiopian calendar said, I called King Simon yesterday, Blue. I had some thoughts. I called King Simon. The Ethiopian calendar, I think you said on my show, Blue, one time
Hmm.
that the world was going to end in 2012, which is the equivalent to 2020 in our calendar. So I'm saying to myself, if the
Wait,
world,
wait, wait.
let's,
Let's
yeah,
let's
Hold on.
clarify.
Clarify
You
that, please.
saying that
yeah.
in the Ethiopian calendar, which starts September 11th,
Yeah.
last year, in our Gregorian calendar year of 2020, in the Ethiopian calendar year, it was
2012.
actually 2012.
12. Yes, it was. That's right.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that right.
Hmm.
So
In the Islamic
if
calendar, I believe is 1445 or 1446 right now. But yeah.
mm,
And and
yo,
and and the Asiatic calendar is 15,107 years
mm,
right now.
Yes.
yo,
Yes.
Right.
I got the number gods with me today, y'all. I got these two are the number gods, yo. So they gonna listen, man.
Mm.
Woo, they gonna get
Mhm.
so I was telling King Simon Blue, I was saying, listen, let's say on a conscious level, the world came to an end last year. and this is year one. 2021 will be year one. Because energetically, a lot of people feel like it's a new world. The world changed from 2020. So energetically, what I asked King Simon Blue, I said, King Simon, I said, if this is year one and our us saying this is 2020 is just a conscious collective agreement, what would be my numerology based on this being year one? Instead of doing my numerology based on 2020, I told King to do my numerology based on year one. Because maybe that'll give me a different angle of what I'm going through. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, Blue Pill? Because I'm trying to change my whole paradigm. I'm trying to change my whole paradigm, Blue. Go ahead, say something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting perspective that you decided to recalibrate how you identify with time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you are looking for markers that dictate or indicate that your universal 1 year has overlapping, you know what I'm saying, reverberations to this universal 5 year, and then how exactly does it speak to your personal particular chart. Now that's definitely guiding, you know what I'm saying. You're taking matters into your own hand, and you're saying, you know, let's delve into some different areas. And some of the quirkiest breakthroughs that I come up with, it starts like that.
Starts like that. I'm gonna go off track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then you find stuff and you're like, this kind of resonates with me more than this particular script. So I'm gonna stick with this one.
So let's do an example, because I want Blue to give us a breakdown of the whole history of the Gregorian calendar, the Roman calendar, and how they got us on this time lockdown. But King, let's say this is year one. Yeah. I'm curious. You know how you do everybody a number breakdown? Yeah. Do a number breakdown for Blue Pill if this was technically year one right now. What would that mean for Blue Pill this year and next year being a year two for Blue Pill? I'm just kidding. We got to be scientists here.
If and thank you very much, Blue. Thank you very much for what you do, my brother. Also, good seeing you. Yes, you know what's so interesting? If you remember, Blue is born 11/14. Him and his brother's born 11/14. And if you add 1 to that, it would be 26. So they would be in a year, which add up to an 8, which would be a money ancestral frequency, but also a healing frequency, because the 2 and the 6 never negate when you have double numbers, never negate the numbers that you have as double before you add. Because a lot of numerologists will break it down to one single double number, when the double numbers, the triple numbers mean something. And because 26 in certain systems of numerology means paying attention to the decisions you make and be careful of the associations you make, it's also a number of the 2, 6, and 8, which is the healing number. Compassion, which is the 2, 6, which is the balance and harmony that they must have, and the 8, which deals with not only ancestral development and growth, but it also deals with money, finance, and recognizing who are assets and liabilities in their life. So moving that, see, on a personal, because that's a personal year cycle. Yeah. I don't even have to deal with 2020. That's why when Brother Ra-Aku, big up to Ra-Aku, asked me something like that, and he talked about, suppose you lived in China and still doing numerology, and it was under a 4,000-year calendar, then you would resonate with the 4,000-year calendar and just add your birthday to it. Just add the month and the day to it. And then you will see the numbers start working with you within the next 10 to 15 to maybe 22 days. It will start working. So because thoughts are things, and all of us know this. We know thoughts are things. So if I go into when I found out about the Asiatic calendar being 15,107 years, I started doing people's session based on that. That's what I started doing, because when you add 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 7, that adds up to 23, which is still the 5-year energy we're in. 2021 is 5, but 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 7 equals the same 23 energy. Yeah, I mean the 5 energy also. When I looked at it, you know, when I added 15, I got my calculator. I ain't playing with these people. I'm one of those people, brother. You know what I'm saying? That it added up to not 23, it added up to 14, which is still the 5. So 14 is the 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 7 equals 14, and 14 is still a 5-year, just like 2021. So even if I go by the Asiatic calendar, I'm still getting this 5 energy. I'm still getting this 5 frequency. But now that you said 1, because of what has happened, think about this. And I know probably Blue know about this book right here, Mapping Time.
Hold up, let me put that on. Hold up.
I got to go to the books. Because Mapping Time, this was recommended by one of our elders in the community. His name is Brother Truss Graham. Recommended this book when he knew. And when you reform a calendar, you know what it says in this book?
What?
It says calendars are resistant to change. The kings of Egypt had to swear before they took office that they would not change the calendar. And then it goes on to say, to change the calendar is therefore the sort of sacrilege. And all too frequently, it would seem its reformation has resulted in bloodshed. Anytime a calendar was changed at any period of time, people end up dying. There was a revolt. There was bloodshed going on. This is a book that's the bibliography in this book is powerful. It breaks down all the calendar dates and goes into it. But, of course, they're coming from their own bias. They're not talking about the Asiatic calendar. And then on the bottom of it, it says the backdrop of plagues, assassination, wars, and riots, which darken human history, undermined, or so I hope, any belief that calendar reform are in fact more perilous than any other undertaking. So when people decide to change, or there's a papal bull deciding to change anything, people end up dead. It's saying in this book that even Julius Caesar, when he attempted to change the calendar, he was dead in a year. In a year, this book is saying these Europeans are talking about themselves. It's written by E.G. Richards. If anybody wants the book, it's written by E.G. Very good book, very good history. And one of our astute elders and scholars recommended that book, and I decided to get it just like last month. I said, yo, that's powerful. And if you read books like that, I'm sure my brother Blue is going to get into, of course, Gregory, of course, the Gregorian, but there's so many things that has happened, even in his history, what happened to him when he did the change.
Yeah. These are pivotal markers in time that often when we discuss history, we overlook them because I think that, by proxy, we just feel that time is a continuum. So very little do we discuss about the purposeful man-made manipulation of time by way of calendar reform. You know what I'm saying? So these calendars that we're dealing with come out of the Roman calendar, right? In the Roman calendar, even though it pretty much was set towards a lunar cycle, they say that they don't know what the ancient origins are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So originally their calendar was only 10 months, right? They didn't account for the winter months because the new year was astrological new year started in March. And then they brought in January and February as calendar reform for winter months, right? And like he's speaking about with Caesar and them, then they brought in Julio, which is July, right? Or Augusta, which stands for Caesar, right? Augustus Caesar. You know what I mean? So there was a continuous reform of these particular calendars, and various different civilizations or society said, okay, we're doing it for this or we're doing it for that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But mainly most calendars are based around harvesting or farming to some particular degree. You know what I'm saying? Because this is how the origins of timekeeping came about. People needed to know when to put food in the ground.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Cycles, yeah.
That's why, when we was doing the Kundalini retreat, and I was explaining with the root chakra, God is also tethered or tied to the land, right? Which is the root chakra. The root chakra is ruby red because it's tied to earth, your foundation, your home, your country, your homeland. You know what I'm saying? And it also synonymous to God because it was like you can't put seeds in the ground and expect to have a good harvest you're gonna create a close connection to God because you're gonna be praying.
Right.
Then nothing goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? And you did this the right way. People didn't do it haphazardly. They wasn't pissing in the wind when they put seeds in the ground. It was all based on astrological cycles. You know what I'm saying? And them mapping time and knowing time. Oh, this time last year, this is what happened. We got rain around this time. You know, let's you know what I'm saying? Let's continue that particular cycle. So as they continue to alter with the months, right? Because correct me if I'm wrong, King Simon.
Yeah.
The Romans were not dealing with 0 as a particular as a number, as a decimal.
That's right. That's correct. That's correct.
Right. So the counting, the numbers were off.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
They had you know, like 300-day calendar years, shit like that. You know, the math was just terrible.
As usual. Yes.
The math was terrible.
And when the Caesars came in, you know what they did? They even threw off the map. They threw off the calendar even more, with especially Julius and Augustus. Yeah.
You know, these people. Again, we're talking about the fact that, because you be speaking now about primordial and pre this and pre that. You know, the more that we research and study, it sounds like our people had shit together in the very beginning.
Yes.
Like they came with a design that was almost foolproof. Something happened, and then people picked up the pieces from there and have been attempting to put things back together with a lot of error in between. You feel me?
That's right.
And that's what we've been dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just using this as a reference point. How when they said that the Moors fell in the Dark Ages, you know, they said that, you know, world history has been set back for 1,000 years. Now, take those concepts and think about other high civilizations that had high sciences, and when they fell and their libraries were destroyed and ruined, you know what I'm saying? And then even when, you know, people fled off with the information and the tablets, if this stuff cannot be interpreted or you know, decoded, how many thousands of years do you think world history has been set back from the collapse of these particular civilizations? Even if we were to believe what we're being told about Atlantis and Lemuria and all of these places, like when you lose an archive like that, you know what I'm saying? Like how far back does it push the broader civilization?
That's right. And like Baba Phil used to say, man, every time the digger you deep, the more you deep, the darker this world get. And you know, that means that with that dig, each dig comes with a dynasty or a history with it, a calendar with it. Because you remember, upper and lower might have a different calendar with each other. The Dogon had a different calendar. When you study with the Earth Center, they'll show you different calendars, but they all, again, it's our resonant energy with those calendars at that time, you know, following the cycles and patterns like you were saying and speaking on. And that's very important that we recognize this. And we can use these mathematical calendars of this time. And like Rich is saying, you see what Rich said about making this like year 1 for him? That is a revolution in itself, even if you agree to do that. Because you remember, Jewish have their own calendar amongst their own synagogues. So they're operating in their synagogues under that Jewish calendar. When they come out amongst us or the Gentiles, they'll operate and act like they're with the Caesars, but they're really with the Lord, as far as they say. So they know how to operate their calendars, and sometimes even in the so-called Arabs do the same thing. But they've kind of fell off the calendar thing for a while. Go ahead, brother.
The Asians,
yes.
Right? Hence the fact that we all acknowledge Chinese New Year's, right? So what year is it in the Chinese New Year? Like nobody
Exactly.
We be like, it's the year of the rat and everything, but is it 2021 in China? Like, is that really what's going on? So we need to look again to people who have mathematics built into their entire demonstration in their system. Right? And we should be like, okay, what system are you following, and mathematically, how does it make sense? Make it make sense for me. You know, explain to me why you got a 20-day calendar system, why you got a 30-day calendar system, right? Because the Mayans had a 20-day calendar system. They counted by 20s. You feel me?
Blue, tell us a little bit about Pope Gregory though. How did we get to 2020? What's up? Yeah, because you said he's the one that came up with today's current calendar, right?
Yeah, he replaced the Julius calendar. Pope Gregory, I think it was the 13th.
13th.
Yeah, the 13th.
Yeah. And it was just another series of calendar reform, right?
Yes.
I could look up the specifics. Do you have any specifics, King Simon, about why exactly they pivoted at that point?
Well,
I think they was having difficulty with the inserts with July and August.
Yes, they was having. It was, according to what they're saying, is also that the Pope was invited him to. They invited him to discuss the matter. The Gregorian reform resulted in riots and bloodshed, so even they did not want to change the calendar, and it was something that the Julius calendar did not. Well, I'm trying to find it in this book. I'm trying to tell people that, look, that's why I look up and get certain books. This book cost me like $50 just because it's an old book, but I know they got it for less price. But according to what he's saying in here, a lot of things that Gregory was doing, a lot of things Gregory had to do, it caused a lot of problems. And, you know, although I can't find it and pinpoint it right now, we're just going to have to move on until I'm going to look through it and see and then I'll bring it back. I'll come back with it because I did mark off where I read that. I did mark that off. I'm trying to find it right now. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. So, you know, here's the whole fact that even when, you know, we come into what's considered quote unquote leap years, right? Leap years are always kind of, you know, again, they're looked at as reset points, periods, and points in times because there's so many things that take place in a leap year. But leap year, and then we even look at something like daylight savings and all of these things. All of this is, you know, manual manipulation of time, right? It's not something that is naturally occurring, right? It's something that we have to manipulate and agree upon. We have to set our clocks to a particular time to agree that we have sprung forward in this daylight saving times and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So we are willful participants in time manipulation. In the time manipulation that we are being manipulated by, we participate in it. You feel me? But it's artificial time. And we, you know, it's you know, one can really question, can you have shaken off all of the other vestiges of white supremacy? Great, right? You know, your melanin is dripping, you're shopping, you're buying black, you're spending your dollars where it's supposed to be. You even learned you some Swahili and all of that good stuff. You know, changed your name to one of the 16 syllable joints. But if I ask you what today's day is, you know what I'm saying? More than likely, you're still going to tell me Monday, October, whatever, right? Which is an open acknowledgement and declaration that you are coming under the auspices of Christianity because that's what this particular calendar dictates and denotes. You feel me? It's only 2021 in this quadrant of the universe or this part of the planet because they're saying that we are under the control of Christianity. That's a Christian calendar. Right? And everywhere on the planet doesn't fall under that particular time. They be like, we're not on that time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But their society doesn't operate any less. You know what I'm saying? The lights still come on, electricity still works. It's not like it cannot be done, right? But we just acquiesce and we just fall under that because we don't know, you know, that there's any alternatives.
I found what they were saying about that discrepancy, because he said the discrepancy between Julian and the astronomical years eventually became unacceptable. And in the 16th century, furthermore, refinements were introduced by Pope Gregory XIII. The intercalculated day was to be dropped from the years of the Christian era, which were divisible by 100, but not by 400. The resulting 400-year cycle had 146,097 days, and the year contained at the average of 365.2425 days, estimated available to Gregory of length of the astronomical year, where within a few seconds of this modern day estimate showed that it is about 26 seconds too long. But this discrepancy would not amount to a day till about the 51st century, and the progress of our knowledge of the solar year is charted by the table, by a table that they're directing us to in 60. But of course, there was a discrepancy what they were talking about, and this is in the solar calendar section of this book. They was talking about the solar and between the lunar calendar and the discrepancies that they had in the calendars, why they transferred it from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar, and the Romans, and and what they did as far as an astronomical year discrepancy. So I think people just need to research more about this, especially if that's what you're into. Me personally, when it comes to these numbers, because numbers are so precise in certain things, I don't care where I'm landed at. I don't care where I'm staying at. Whatever year that number is under, or that society is under, I can do numerology anywhere in this world. That's just how I look at it. And I've proven it. And even Lloyd has proven it when he went to China and was able to deal with certain people in China, which might have a 4,000 year history. They might be following on the 4,000 traditional calendar year history, but you can still do the breakdown for people when it comes to numbers. That's what I love about numerology.
You talking to mathematicians and numeroveda. These guys is different. You know what I'm saying? They're different. They can synthesize any system and put it through their prism and still come up with answers. I mean, that is the key, right? Because he's focusing on the math, he's focusing on the numbers, and that's where all of this, you know what I'm saying? Universality, that's where all of this lies.
That's right.
We're speaking about people who were not mathematicians prior to us. These Romans had not figured it out. Everything that they had was stolen or borrowed. So here they go attempting to they like, this is not your skill set, buddy. Math is not what y'all do. You don't even have a zero in your civilization. You need to sit down.
Exactly. They stole everything.
They stole everything and left the zero behind because they thought it was a coaster.
That's funny.
Damn, man. Hey, you know what's kind of interesting? Just speaking about numbers, the calendar we fall on that we follow tells us how old we are. So how old we're supposed to be. Right, so one thing I noticed when they interview people who, like some of the oldest people in the world who's past 100, and they said they always want to know what do you do to live this long? One of the common things that's common in all of them, they say, I stopped counting my age. They all stop counting their age.
They be like, I don't really know how old I am because I stopped counting. Right. Now it's a spell. Let me explain why.
Definitely.
If I say right now that I'm 45 years old, right? How? Because I have not exhausted all of the days of my 45. How can I be 45 years old? I didn't experience this yet. I'm going through it. I can only say that I'm old if I have surpassed it and it's behind me. But if you are going through something and you are learning it and you are experiencing it, then it has not been exhausted. It's not past tense. So you got to speak about your quote unquote age in the present. You know what I mean? I'm 45 years young. That changes the whole energy.
That's right.
Right? On a proclamation such as that.
Exactly. That's why I say I'm 54 years young. I don't go with the old because, and I don't feel like I'm 54 years old. I don't feel it. I feel I can still do a 50 to 100 push-ups straight. I can still do the stuff that I used to do when I was. Oh yeah. I'm just saying, I'm climbing trees. If y'all look at me on Instagram, I'm climbing trees on Instagram.
My dude is cycling. You know,
I'm cycling. I'm working out. I'm doing push-ups and pull-ups off of trees. I'm like, young people are looking at me like, what the hell is he doing at his old ass age? You know what I'm saying? It's just like watching. It's just like watching Big Daddy Kane on stage, and I went to school with him. I'm like, look at these guys. That's crazy.
He said he went to school with Kane.
No, I was in an upper grade. I'm older than Kane. He's born 68. I'm born 67.
But he went to Sarah J.
He went to 117 first, and then got put out of that school. But I know we was at Academy right there in LG. We went to 117 Francis Scott Key. We went to that school first.
Right.
Yeah, because I got kicked out.
You know, that proclamation changes the energy on everything. You know what I'm saying? Your affirmation to the world is that whatever number you are, young years old, you know what I'm saying? You're ready for the world. The world want to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to bestow upon you all sorts of fruits. You know what I mean?
That's right.
To see what you make out of them. If you old, though, it's like, damn, I got to lighten your load. You know what I'm saying? Because how do you differentiate in the universe between what 99 years old sounds like as opposed to 29 years old? The shit at the end, it just hears old.
Right. And there's some people living in rural areas that don't know their age. My grandfather, although he transitioned at so-called 103 years of age, he was still doing carpentry and plumbing at 100. He didn't feel like it, and he was moving faster than me walking in the street. In Jamaica, he moving. So
this has been my study for the last maybe 2 months. I've been studying centenarians, people that are 100 years or better. And they got the most dynamic stories about I've been researching their routines, their accounts of the past.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Majority of them, they got a vast memory too, right, bro?
They got sharp memories. Most of them have outlived their children for the most part. You know what I mean? Of course, I have not discovered a 100-year young vegan yet. That's a whole nother story.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
And my grandfather outlived all his girlfriends and his wives. So
Blue, why do you in the health? Why do you why is that? Vegans don't live there. We don't know any vegans. Yo, matter of fact, they interviewed a brother. They interviewed a elder brother, and they asked him what was one of his tricks. And you could Google this. He says, "I eat bacon every day." Did you see that one?
Yeah, I see that one. I see that one.
They said, "What's one of the tricks?" He said, "I eat bacon every day." So why don't we see 100-year-old vegans, Blue?
The same way that you don't see Chevys built today like they were in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. You know what I'm saying? How the saying goes, built for tough. You know what I'm saying? Our elders had a different gene disposition and how they were able to alchemize food. And a lot of them foundationally, right? Their foundation, their skeletal, when I say skeletal structure, I'm not just speaking about their bones. I mean the things that make them up, that the food that went into making their cells, which make up their flesh and tissue. A lot of them had, you know what I'm saying, foundational foods in the early ages to begin with. So the foods that they ate was very mineral rich. The meat that they ate was still real. It was still real meat that
killed meat in the backyard. Flesh, they did it. They raised it.
They still had real flesh. They still ate real food.
Real apples.
Yeah, the animals were eating grass. The animals were eating, you know what I'm saying, good nutrient, very nutrient dense type of foods. And these elders, so their foundation is strong. Their infrastructure, if you will, is sound. You know what I mean? And when you got the sound infrastructure, you could throw a lot of stuff you know, added afterwards. But it's like, yo, you know, I have beams that are made out of steel as opposed to plexiglass. I'm not going to collapse that easy. So a lot of them have rebounded. You know what I'm saying? And they have great relationship with their bacteria.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like I
What that
tell
mean,
people
Blue?
all
What
the
that mean?
time, like when I look at my father and I look at other people who I know have pre-existing conditions, you know what I'm saying? If my father stopped smoking today, if my father stopped drinking coffee today, if my father stopped, you know what I'm saying, eating entomans or frying up burgers and shit like that, I believe that that's the thing that's going to make him trend. If my father attempted to become vegan now, that shit is going to get him up out of here because he is being kept alive more so, I guess, by his relationship with the fact that he's going to feed the bacteria. They got a great thing going. They shit is routine. They like, I know what you finna do. You're going to give me some of that great sugar that I love. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to reward you by holding off. You know what I'm saying? Because I need you. It's a relationship, parasite and host.
Right. You know, I remember being at a radio show with I remember being on a radio show with Dr. Africa and Dr. Melanie, and they asked him that same question about though they long and he said, well, the food is totally different 50 and 60 years ago. Totally different. We're not eating food in this day and time.
Yeah, it's a misnomer to even call it food. You know what I'm saying? It's a slap in the face to the good ham hocks that our ancestors had. I mean, think about this. They feed pigs, you know what I'm saying? Soy, other grounded up pig, garbage. I mean, they throwing stuff to these animals that these animals have not historically eaten. The fact that a pig is just gonna eat whatever and slop, so be it. But these animals are not being raised in the same condition. They don't have the same, you know what I'm saying, sound infrastructure. They don't have the same relationship with their bacteria. They're over chemicalized because they're being introduced to all of these foreign chemicals by way of the environment that they're in and the food that they eat and the way that these places are being, you know, manufactured and you know, the way that they're being warehoused. All of these factors are going into, you know, the fact that people are being introduced to food groups that they have never, you know what I'm saying, been introduced to. Our people don't have a historical record of eating plastic. You feel me? That's not what we did. That's not who we are. You know what I mean? So these things are going to have effects on a population of people that are pretty much unrecognizable to us. You know what I'm saying? The amount of people that are dying from cancer, the amount of people that are dying from heart attacks. You know what I mean? The majority of them are the baby boomer generations and the ones that are after them. But the ones that was born like in the 30s and the 40s, they're transitioning from old age.
Yeah.
And they got bad knees, hips, and all of that stuff. But they're not necessarily dropping dead from that because they had sound foundations. You know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, of course, you have the stories of, you know, the people who got tapped out during C-19 because they had pre-existence and they was elderly, you know what I'm saying, with morbidity issues or pre-existing conditions or what have you. You know, they had to be pushed to the limit to check up out of here. We don't know what else played a factor in them dying in nursing homes and hospitals. But these people is resilient. They like built for tough.
Right.
Yo, Blue, did you see the Loki, the Time Lords on Netflix? Did you see that? The Loki series, Marvel?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely.
What did you think? What did you think about that? Do you think that's something that there's actual Time Lords out there that like how just how it is in the series? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Again, you know, the orientation of time kind of orients you to your reality. You feel me? If I go to Asia, they on a different time You know what I mean? Like, that's a term that we use, and I'm not just saying based on the clock that they on a different time. They're on a different time. How they grind is different. You know what I'm saying? How they mind is different. You feel me? They are in the future. They're hours and hours ahead of us. So it's only right that I will look at somebody like that and be like, okay, they are orientated to be ahead of us in other things such as technology, right? Why not? They live in the future. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel that if there are different people that are orientated on different timelines, that there's some sort of a variable that exists, you know. So when I look at series like Loki's and I look at, you know, these time variants, I'm like, yeah, there's this overlapping time variants. You know what I mean? Because look, there are people that still live in the 70s. There are people, you seen it last night. My
Yeah,
nigga,
last night. Exactly.
KRS-One had on baggy pants,
I
right?
was just
This
about to
little
say
nigga could
that.
live in the 90s.
Yep.
And you're going to have a culture clash with somebody in 2021. They got, you know, skinny boys on, and you run across them and you got some baggies. They're going to look at you like you're out of time, like you're an alien, like you back to the future. Where you traveling from? You know what I'm saying? And that person's mental disposition might be different. They might be totally analog and you might be digital. Right? So there are different, you know, somebody coming home after 30 years that has to reacclimate themselves to society. That person lives on a different timeline altogether. Yep. Their reality has been warped by their experience.
That's right. That's right.
Do you think there's any reason? I mean, we always say it as a joke,
but let me just go in a little bit further, right? Just to nail it and bring it all the way home, because they was talking about variance in Loki. So what they're saying in that is like, y'all niggas is not on our time anymore. So there's like, but we have all the time in the world to catch up with you, right? If you don't prescribe to this particular timeline, right, you live outside of this timeline, and we're gonna have, you know what I'm saying, our time enforcement to catch up with you in due time. Right? That whole aspect of the resistance. They like, we got time on our side. Do y'all? Because we got like, you know, however many years that we got to finalize this agenda. How long do you have to hold out? That's what they're telling these NBA niggas. That's what they're telling me. They're telling all of them that. They're like, all right, let's see if you got that same energy next week.
And they've proven themselves over the years.
They're using pressure and time, right, to collapse people's disposition. You feel me?
That's right.
And you are the variant in this particular matrix that they're saying, oh, it has to be eliminated because that is something out of time, right? That person, we want to create one timeline, not variants, not alternative timelines. We want to put all of this shit on one timeline. And by pledging allegiance to the Jabbington, we know what time you're on.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Blue and King Simon, is there any reason, we say it as a joke, but for some reason, black people, who we call black people, can't be on time? Everybody, you could tell any other group in the world, meet me here 8:00. For some reason, and we'll try our hardest to make it on time, but majority of us just can't make it on that time. Is there any particular reason for that you could think of? That always interests the shit out of me, man. Damn it, man.
Well, you know, we operate on a different time altogether. We are the original people, brother. Remember, they're pushing a timeline on us. Even the Gregorian timeline is not our timeline. Not the Roman, not the Julian. None of them was our timeline at all.
Right.
So obviously, we're always going to be out of sync with their time. It's like being like them dancing to our music. They're always one thing short of that time. Something they're missing.
See, that part, right? The fact that, again, the orientation of time has us starting on a 2 beat, right? Second, right? How do they manage and measure time, right? the particular measurement of time starts on a 2, on a second.
On the
right?
second.
We are on a 1-3 beat. You know what I'm saying? We're not on the 2-4 or the 2-6, whatever time that they're on, they're off time. You know what I'm saying? Their rhythm is off, and rhythm is all about timing.
Yes.
So we are on CP time, which is cosmic people time, right?
0.0.
I'm gonna show up when I want to show up.
That's universal.
What's more autonomous than that? You're gonna tell a race of melanated, autonomous, self-governing, sovereign people to all show up at the same time? No, you already know one nigga gonna be fashionably late, and because they know, out of, let's say it's 100, we know that it's that one nigga that's gonna show up fashionably late. Chances are 75% of the people is gonna try to outdo him. Right?
Exactly.
So it starts a cascade of cosmic timing, because it's like, do we really want to be on the 2-step? Right? Do we really want?
But Blue, that happened last night where Kane was supposed to come out, and he came out off time in his own time, and Swiss Beat said that he got there on time. Swiss Beat said he got there on time, but came on stage off
and
time.
It changed everything, just like Dipset.
Yes, sir.
It changed everything, right? When you come out off time, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, when the homies is in the building, you know what I'm saying, and it's the time is when the time is. We understand that, right? It's put up or shut up time. You got to show up to the fight. You know what I'm saying? You can't be strolling in the ring late.
That's right.
So we see the results of that. You know what I mean? And that's when we're keeping time. That they wasn't doing that according to no clocks. That's like, we in the building, we setting the time. It's time. You know what I mean? This is a time we've been waiting for. Let's go.
That's right. That's right. And, so I think Kane controlled time. He's God. He showed that he was God. He controlled time. He even calmed down the audience at certain times.
The 120 beats per minute. Again, when we're talking about the rhythmic parameters that we are able to master, being MCs, masters of the ceremony. It's DJing is timing, breakdancing is timing, rhyming is timing. Look, hip hop is time. You feel me? Hip hop is all based on time. And when you putting graffiti up, nigga, what? And think about this. You like, how long do I got for the folks to show up?
Exactly.
Understand, our people did majestic art pieces under threat and duress, right? Of getting locked up, getting chased down, and they did it under the night's cover. And still, you saw that level of excellence in their artistic demonstrations.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You have to have perfect poise and control of time to create those lines and those waves, and you know what I'm saying?
And then color them at the same time.
Like, I mean, different. We deserve our own time, yo. We deserve our own time.
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
We slightly different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got to go from starting on the second to starting on the first. You see where that gets us. You feel me?
That's right. So and that's what somebody mentioned, quantum. They're right. I mean, but quantum is said in most of, like, I was reading something with Nikola Tesla, and they're debating about quantum and 0 point and dark matter and all this type of stuff, debating this stuff. The origin was 0 point. We're on 0 point. We're supposed to be on 0 point. We're not supposed to be following their point. Whatever they want to call it, we're on the 0 point, and 0 in numerology is the universal number that all numbers come out of.
Yes.
Once you see that, is it so? Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I know both of y'all got to go. Blue is going to be joining Red tonight. After this program, I want everybody to go over to Melanin Mondays, and I also know King got to go in about, what time is this? 10 now.
Yeah,
about 10. About what?
I got like 15 minutes to half an hour. Yeah, I got.
We just got started. You ain't gonna push.
Yeah.
Okay, no. I know. Well, let's get to some Q&A from the people right now. Okay. Family, I want to thank everybody. Make sure you hit the like button. I don't know how many likes we got. We got about 1,100 people. That means I should have at least 900 likes. This is a great conversation. This is one of the last vestiges of white supremacy. Us following their time, us saying how old we are, us saying today's this day or that day, or following their calendar to a T. Like King Simon said, the Jewish people, they do their own thing, but when they come out to do business with the Gentiles, as they call them, then they come out with the calendar. But we gotta have our own calendar, family, our own everything. This is year one in my world. Everything starts over, family. So give me a couple of questions. I want to thank once again Blue Pill, King Simon for being on the show. It's hold up, y'all. Let me see something.
Make sure if y'all want to book a session with me, please, y'all can text me your full name and date of birth. I do have a long waiting list, I'm telling y'all, so be patient with me. But I am definitely going to operate on your mathematical numerovational time, because I'm about motivating you to be your best, man. That's what I'm about.
Before we get into the Q&A real quick, King Simon, just like you did with Blue, so tell me about if this is year one for me. Tell me, give me a reading based on my year one. What would that mean for me and me going into year two next year?
What is so interesting about your year one, when you add the 9 plus the 17 plus that 1, it would be 27. Now, in tarot numerology, the 27 or compound numerology is the number of what we call the scepter. A scepter being passed, some type of royal scepter being passed to you. But it's a scepter of creativity and productivity. So you always got to take because the 2 and the 7 are water numbers, you got to take the insight or the internal intuitive insight that you receive, whether it's through dreams, whether it's through ideals, and then put them to work, because the 2 plus the 7 equals the 9, and 9 is the assertive number of universal understanding, universal higher completion, universal endings, finishing what you start. So if this is the number of creation and productivity, then this is the best year for you to be creative in whatever you do, be productive in whatever you do, and don't second guess yourself and finish what you start. Keep on going. If it's good for you and your family and your legacy, do it. What do you have to lose? That's what Billy Carson is talking about. It woke doesn't mean broke. We don't have nothing to lose. It's just keeping your higher frequency. Now, if you go towards the lower of it, then you're second guessing. You're being indecisive. You're being worrisome. And then you're not completing the job. And that's not good for people that have that 9-year personal frequency, because it's a number of detoxification of people, places, and things around you. So this is a good year for you as you're going into that number 1 cycle. It's going to be powerful. So you're in a good cycle, Rich. Good cycle. If that's what you claim
it. And that's based on this being year one.
It's based on you being year one. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
For you.
Okay, cool, man. All right, man. Yeah. They said King Simon is a hell of a motivational speaker. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Thank you,
and I think that we should adopt that. We should adopt, this year as year one. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna so everybody who got a reading from King Simon, you got to get another one. You got to create a year one discount and run everybody through the ringer.
And remember, family, I'm doing your personal year anyway. I'm dealing with your personal year. But if you want to add that one, like I said to everybody, a lot of people like to say there's rules to this and rules to that. No, if your mind goes there and that's where your spirit says to go, that's why when Brother Rich called me and asked me, I said, and then I went to this book. It was a revolution that happened, bloodshed. So there's always and when you want to evolve or become something greater than what you are, there has to be an evolution in your mind and a revolution in your mind to make the change. Yes. So that's a change that he's talking about. And, so if we think like that, we're going to do that.
I wanna speak real quick. I won't take too much time on it, about one of my teachers who kind of orientated my mind, you know what I'm saying, to see this totally different, and that is Jose Arguelles.
Yes,
right.
I have his books.
Yes, Jose Arguelles, and time in the technosphere in particular. I tell the story a lot about.
Yeah, I got that book when you mentioned it, brother. I bought that book. Yes, I did.
And when you mention books, I grab them too.
I know.
So, you know what I'm saying? Nah, real talk.
I know, real talk.
Time in the Technosphere is an amazing book by Jose Arguelles, and it speaks about the calendars. It speaks about the clock in the calendar, and he was the man that wrote the Mayan Factor. So he,
I have that.
he kept time. He was a timekeeper, and he has an institution called the Law of Time, and he speaks about the 260-day Mayan calendar, you know, and how the Mayans, or more so the Olmec, as their misnomer, they're called, you know what I'm saying? They had a astronomical calendar system, you know, that had a count, you know, they had million counts, you know, they were not scared of counting numbers in time at all. You know what I'm saying? Their time stretches, it goes all the way back. You feel me? They're not intimidated by telling somebody, you know, this is a particular time cycle that's going to last, you know what I'm saying, 86,000 years or what have you. And, you know, all of these, we you know, we come into years like 2020, and they like, this is the culmination of different time cycles all culminating in this one year. And we're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, 80,000 year time cycle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Coming into full fruition. And it's like my nigga, when I put things into perspective, it's like, can you think about the 100-year period between 1900 and 2000 and how much you could fit into 100 years? How much change happened between the years of 1900 and the year 2000? Now, what about 80,000 years? Or even when we think about this country is only 245 years old. Only 245 years old. In the Bible, they said people lived longer than that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Put that in perspective, right? The Moors ruled Europe from 711 to 1492. This ain't even that. We just talking about, we've been in this country for 245 years. And we packed all of this history into that short amount of time, right? The amount of history that goes into the year 1900 to 2000, 100 years that probably felt like 1,000 years in regards to the amount of things that happened. So again, when we're talking time, you feel me? And our ancestors is talking 85,000, 72,000, 7,200 year cycles, and they're not even blinking. And this is these are astrological cycles that they tracked personally.
Exactly.
From generation to generation to generation, passing all this information on.
The timekeepers.
Right? They didn't have iPads and iPhones and all of that, but they still was able to keep this stuff intact and record keep.
That we know
and some of them even pass it through oral tradition.
Exactly.
Where they had all of the information up here.
And you can tap into those ancestors if you want. We're not even thinking on that. I mean, Baba Kaba Hiawatha had went to one of those sites and they showed you how many ancestors you have for 400 years. Over 1 million ancestors. I'm like, just 400 years. And we just talking about 400 years when you're talking about your father's father, mother, father on both sides. It's a 1,000, over 1 million people, according to what he researched about Kaba Hiawatha. And that's why in my numerovation session, I said, look, don't get caught up on the labels of destiny and life path and all that. You can use any one of those numbers at any given time. It's just that at certain periods of times, it's stronger at different periods of your life. That's all. But you can use any number in your chart. Any number, and you got to use the higher frequency of each number so it can take you where you got to go, so you can navigate better. Just like your GPS, it takes you where you got to go, whether it's slow or fast. It's up to you whether you want to be navigated correctly to get where you got to go. And some of you already know how to get home. You don't even need a GPS, but some of you still put on the GPS to get home.
Facts.
It's already in you. It's in me to do this. I'm finding that's out from my own grandmother, who used to talk about birthdays and give and send birthday cards to everybody. She's been passed on for years now, but it's in me. Les Brown just found his mother. Remember, he always said he was adopted. Les Brown just found his original mother, a Rucker. Her last name is Rucker. Did you know his mother was a motivational speaker also?
Wow.
They showed him clips. They showed Les clips of his mother speaking.
Damn.
Wow.
He talked about it just recently last week about him finding his mother's father in the family, his original mother.
Damn.
So it's in the bloodline for him to do what he did.
That DNA.
Mouse,
It's
man.
in there, man.
Go
get it.
Shout out to the sister Vicky. Vicky Dillon. She got a workshop on DNA.
Salute to the goddess. Yeah.
It's sometime later this month.
Salute.
So necessary. This Sunday.
This Sunday? Okay, yeah, this Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday. Shout out to Vicky Dillon. Let's get to a question. Somebody's saying this is a cool question. Why is 13 unlucky?
No, it's not unlucky to us, not as original people. It was unlucky to them, not as original people, because 13 is usually called in certain systems of numerology the number of man, but it's also the number of that portal that the 12 disciples had to go through, that 13th. And remember, in tarot numerology, the number 13 is known as the power and dominion number. So if you use it correctly, it won't wreak destruction on you, which can lead to uncreativity, selfishness. It can lead to mental health also, because it adds up to a 4. But I know Brother Blue got it from a whole nother perspective, especially with Gematria. I know he got it from a whole nother perspective. But I know, don't get that's his thing. Go ahead, Blue. I'm gonna give it to Blue.
You know, 13 in the alphanumeric breakdown, meaning the number equals a letter. 13 is the letter M, right? And you know, they will have movies and stuff like Dial M for murder, you know what I'm saying? But 13 is just really a sacred number. You know, 13 or that M represents master. So they just want to keep people off of the things that they hold sacred, right? They say things in public, but in private, that's not what they, you know what I'm saying? That's not how they get down. They revere the number 13. Hence the fact that it was 13 colonies. It's 13 arrows on the you know, the eagle on the back of the dollar. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? There was originally 13 stars. I mean, there's so many 13s in the history of these people who say that it's a quote unquote bad number.
Right.
Don't buy into that. You know what I'm saying?
And they put out the Friday the 13th every year to make billions of dollars. Don't let them fool you.
They want to keep you away from something that they know is a powerful, magical number, transcendental number. Exactly. I mean, and of course, you know, the 13 breaks down to the 4, and you know, we could get into that. But yeah, you know, and 13, man, 13 is
13 bloodlines. That's right.
Has a lot of history, a lot of information through the esoteric and the occult about the number 13. You feel me? I would recommend that, you know, if the family is interested, that you deep dive into 13 and why they would say those things. So 13 here, according to them, is a bad omen or a bad number. Whereas when you break it down to 4, the number 4 in Asia is a bad number. According to the Asian. Now they have an explanation because the character in their language system, I believe, is what is it, Mandarin? The character for death is almost identical to the character for the number 4. So this is why they say it's an omen in their civilization or their culture that you don't see the number 4 on their elevators and things. You know what I mean? That's some BS as far as I'm concerned. But anyway.
You know what's so funny? Lloyd went to China, and a 4 is one of the malefic numbers and those challenge numbers to China. He went to China, and this lady said in China that she was always a black woman that's living out there now, said she was always getting her bicycle robbed. So what she decided to do to put a crossbow on the bicycle and the number 4, and it never got stolen again.
Wow!
Because they so afraid of the number 4.
Yeah,
they spook from the number 4.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I was able to gauge in December 2019 when I was seeing the articles dealing with the early, you know, C19 when they called it something else. I just started seeing all of these cases pop up because I got a Google alert, set to 44. And it just kept on showing up early December. And I'm like, this is not going to end good. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, they were moving into their new year. And I'm like, damn, for them, that's a spooky number. And I'm like, it has to do something with blood, because that's what the number 44 means. And lo and behold, here we are today. So
somebody wants y'all to talk about the number 23. Everybody knows the number 23 being synonymous with Michael Jordan. That's what the number 23 is famous for. Could you tell me about the number 23? I think LeBron is wearing number 23 now also.
You want me to go, or you want to do it?
You could go. Yeah.
But I think from a numerical perspective, the number 23 is called the Royal Star of the Lion or Lioness. It's always a promise of success and help from your superiors and protection from those in high places. And it's not just physically, it's spiritually also. So you notice people like LeBron and them, they was probably either told or advised to wear that. Some resonate with it naturally to wear that. But it's in numerology, that's one of the most powerful double numbers in as far as compound numerology. 23, 19, and the number 10. Those are some powerhouse, because 10 is the Wheel of Fortune number. 19 is the number of the sun. That's one of those numbers of the sun. That's what they call it, the number of the sun, or it's called the prince or the princess of heaven. And then you have 23, which is called the royal star of the lion or the lioness. So anytime you have 23 in any, and I look, and I want to let people know, when I do sessions with people, I look for all these numbers in your chart. I don't break it down to one number where some people might say 2 + 3 = 5. No, I'm looking for all your angel numbers. I'm looking for all your compound, because if you don't read all of it, you can't get a full picture so you can give the person guidance. So if you're under that number 23, use it wisely, because the 2 represents you got to have compassion and you have to find balance in what you do. And the 3 says you have to be willing to self-express, be willing to speak up. And then it adds up to the 5, which says you have to be versatile and adaptable to what's going on to any given situation. Thus, it's called the Royal Star of the Lion, which you can have help from those in superior and in high places. So pay attention to when you have 23 in your chart. When you're 23 years of age, when you're 23, your name might add up to 23. I look at all of that. I look for all of that. That's what is very important for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My mama 23. So
she's born. Yeah, she's born the 23rd of April. Yes, she is.
I just be looking at them like, okay, Yeah. I mean, 23 is one of those magical numbers.
Ray Charles born on the 23rd. Yep.
Yeah. AA has a very high reverence and for the number 32, which is the flip of 23. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot more esoteric information, should I say, about the number 32, because studying under his tutelage, I had to be like, okay, what's this 32 energy? 23, I've come across a lot of different pieces of information, just speaking to it. I don't remember all of that right this particular second. I think that King Simon did an amazing job explaining that.
I could talk about the 32 too. It's easy.
Yeah. We could flip that. But
yes,
they made a movie about 23. So that's normally, what I'm saying? The question is always going to pop out. People like, oh, what is it about this number 23?
And they made it so negative in the movie.
Yeah.
They always do the foolishness.
Do you have a connection between 23 and 32 when you go into numeration? Do you flip numbers and read them back?
You can do that, because remember, when you deal with the 32, they call that in tarot, or call that in compound numerology, the number of magical powers. That's what they call the 32. It's similar to 14 and 23, but it's usually associated with people of many nations. It's associated with good fortune. It's associated with holding up to your own judgment. It's associated with paying attention to your own opinions, and be careful of people that can wreak problems on you because of the stubbornness and stupidity of other people. See, there's a duality to all these numbers.
Right.
So you got to be very mindful. That's why I remember a sister that used to work at Nicholas. She used to say she would have got into numerology, but it's too morbid. You know, she says it's too morbid and too much negative. I said, no, it's not that's it. It's that in certain systems, they like to get straight to the point and show you what it is to reveal it's negative, but also know there's a positive to all of that. That's why I'm writing a book called The Numerovation. I wrote it on my board, The Numerovational Angles of Life. I'm not calling them angel numbers. I'm calling them angles because everyone can take that angle and go to different angles in their life. Each one has a right and a left, a positive and a negative. That's why when you look at angel number books like by Doreen Virtue, who denounced that kind of stuff, she only gives you all the positive, but there's always the lesser side to it.
I got her to do it in public on my page.
Yes, that's right. I remember that. That's right. That's right. I think that's where I got it from.
Yeah, I just, you know, I'm unapologetically optimistic. I'm a very positive person. But I'm just like, yo, y'all always talking about, you know, especially as it applies to 44 and 444. Oh, angel numbers. And I'm like, granted, but I'm like, do you know the flip side of those numbers?
It's a flip side, boy.
You feel me? Like, let's stop getting so puritanical just to think that everything just has a positive impact on everything. There's two sides to a coin.
That's right.
So let's put things in their proper perspective. You know what I mean? And I'm like, who told you it was an angel number, first of all?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Somebody who ain't from angelic realms is gonna tell you that that's a whole nother story. But yeah, she denounced it. She said that she was tripping at the time and she was on some new age stuff. Now she's a devout Christian and she doesn't prescribe to that anymore.
But Blue, that don't even make no sense. You go to the Bible, there's a book of numbers. What are you telling me, lady? What are you telling me?
I'm like, that ain't that where angels is at? Like,
duh. Angel numbers.
She said God ain't want her talking about numbers, so she denounced something.
Then why did God put a book of numbers in the Bible? What kind of asinine
look, these people
stuff is this?
Spook. They see me with crystals and it's evil. You know, I talk about numbers and it's evil. I burn incense and it's evil. I'm like, well, goddamn. Look at all this evil that's identifiable though, and you be championing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
But it's in their Bible about the stones. Yo, they tried that with my son in Florida, and when I sent him all the scriptural quotes about stones and crystals and how the Bible supports all that stuff, they left him alone. I said,
I'm like, what are the 12 crown jewels? You know,
there it is.
With all these things, you know what I'm saying?
The breastplate.
What is the breastplates? What's you know, he came back with eyes of emerald and ruby and yet all of this conversation in the Bible about stones and they're evil. I'm like, who made them then?
Who raised them?
Made the planet? Like, he got cash here, but did he design it? Like, do these things not have, because science will show you that they have, you know, atomic properties in them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They're not necessarily inorganic substances. You know, rocks are alive.
They're alive. They're vibrating. They're energy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
look at that. Look at that amethyst.
Incense of conjuring.
This joint is shining. Look at this. It's alive, yo. If I hit you upside the head, you'll know how alive it is.
So it's like when you look at some of these calendar systems and you look at the way that these people count and things of that nature, you know, then you look at Christian, he like, this stuff can only be pulled on people who are not thinking for themselves.
Yeah.
And that are not asking, you know what I'm saying? the obvious questions that's gonna pop up in your mind.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you know, Blue,
and all of us have been party to it until we got released from indoctrination and we started saying, oh, this makes all the sense in the world. You know, when I read that there's, you know, if you count the days according to 28 days, you know, the same way that women have cycles and there will be 13 months. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that kind of started resonating and making sense to me. And I was just like, wow, you know, imagine if we set things up to live in accordance with, you know, natural cycles. How different would life be? You know what I mean? Can something that's unoriginal operate under an original paradigm? Can something that's unnatural operate under something that's natural? No. It has to lay a foundation of awkwardness. You know what I'm saying? It has to lay a foundation of, again, man's manipulation in order for them to exist inside of it. This is the matrix.
I want to get to one more quick question. Shout out to Red Pill. I see he just started his live.
Okay.
We about to all go over there, but real quick, somebody who sent the super chat, I definitely want to you to answer this real quick. They want to know about age number like 52, 52 equals 7. Do you understand what they mean?
Somebody's 52, that's your age?
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you're dealing with that 5 and 2 energy all the time, just remember there's a flip side to that also. But the 5 and 2, that equals 7. 7 is the number of meditation, research, but also not staying in your meditation, but also manifestation. That's one of the numbers 7. The 5 deals with, of course, the adaptability and versatility, but also being willing to expand into your number 2. Look how I'm gonna tell you a story right now. The 5 deals with travel, freedom, adaptability, and versatility into the number 2, which deals with compassion, love, and balance and harmony in one sense of the loving energies, like the number 6. But 5 plus 2 equals 7. The story says, whatever you do in your 52nd age is be willing to travel, be willing to love what you do in your travel, number 2, and in your travels, make sure you do the necessary meditation and manifestation in your travels. That's a brief story about the 52. I'm not just talking about the 52 blocks. No. That's just part of the 52s. But we can do those things. But that's a spiritual number. Go ahead, brother Blue. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you hit it on the head. You know
what I'm saying? Yeah, you know. So and you know, they talk about the number 52 as a symbolize of a sign of revolution and upheaval too. In certain systems of numerology, it can bring about strife, it can bring about failure and prevention of certain things. That's the negative of it. But the positive of it is, remember, because it adds up to because it has those two, that enthusiastic number of the number 5, which is also a nerve number, and then it has the dietary number of the number 2 and the 7, because 2 and 7 are dietary numbers, but 2 more so deals with stomach and digestive system, and 7 deals with maintaining your mental stability, because number 7 is one of the mental numbers in my book. After doing research, that's one of the mental numbers that you have to protect your mind. According to MIT's study over 25 years, it says it takes 16 positive to knock out 1 negative in this society. That means we got to work on our mind more in this society. That's an MIT study 25 years ago.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yo, family, I told y'all these are the number gods. I told y'all
I want you to press that up, man. We got to hand that out in the hood.
Word. No, we really do.
You got to press really like 50,000 of them papers up.
Yo, Les used to talk about that all the time, and I just remember that's why he always said, Les Brown always used to say back in the lecture days when I used to do in New York, he always said that's why you gotta listen to positive and motivation things soon as you get up in your morning, because your brain wave operate on a higher octave in the morning.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, family, you can, like Billy's been teaching, like Delbert used to teach, like Blue and Red be teaching. Y'all can operate on some higher quantum levels, like 19 Keys be teaching. Yo, like Rich is teaching. Look, I've seen Rich from the street to what he's doing now. I'm amazed and watching him quantum leap even into learning to be a musician. He's leaving a legacy. He's born on the 17th, which is a legacy leaving number. Rich is born on. I remember telling him that on the street. Yo, you're a money number. You are this. You are that. You remember that, Rich? And breaking that down to him. And then all of a sudden, yo, he's ready to. And I remember one time, Rich. Now, Rich, have you stopped eating cheese?
Yes.
Because his number rules the colon and stomach area. He has to protect his stomach. Bro. I remember he used to go get those sandwiches with cheese on it. I'm like, Rich, what are you doing? Don't do it to yourself.
Cheese do me so dirty. Whenever I eat it, my body don't like it. Do me dirty, yo. It ain't even right. It ain't even right, man.
Me too.
I'm like crazy. Listen, man, I want to thank y'all, man. I want to thank everybody. We got about 1,100 people in the chat. I want everybody. Real quick, bro. Let me just tell everybody, all of y'all. Go over. We're going to Know the Ledge Media. So don't turn off your computer. Go to Know the Ledge Media on YouTube. We're continuing the conversation over there. We're going to deal with hip hop, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane. Go ahead, Blue.
You know, we talk about the power and the strength of word sound power, you know, and as I've been replacing the word a week, you know, what we doing this week with cycle, and the end of the week was strong in as opposed to weekend. It has changed so many things. It has alchemized my reality just through my mental acknowledgement of the fact that I no longer want to contract with a concept that I'm starting something off weak and ending it even weaker. You feel me? So I mean, and it's mental. Like when I'm saying it's mental, I'm visualizing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm starting here and I'm ending up here, as opposed to starting here and ending up all the way down there. You got to get resuscitated. You got to get your IV drip, you know, for 2 days to come back and do it all over again. It's like, who would want to do that? But I'm like, we have been indoctrinated, you know what I'm saying, to just follow this particular script. Quote unquote work week that was established for a labor force. So I get the linguistic spell that they put into it and why they would do such a thing, but I no longer want to participate. And I have every right to cancel my contract, you know what I'm saying, or revise it and follow one in which I am now the author of.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Same way that, you know, I'm again, I don't want to say, you know, what the second thought and all of that, because it's telling me that the foundation of a minute is slightly off.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Right. It's like, all right, well, if that's the second, where's the first?
Right.
I want to start on the one. You know, my master just told me that everything starts on the one.
On the one.
And when you start on the two, it's always going to end in confusion, because that's where manipulation takes place.
Right. And second guessing yourself. Yep. Yeah. That's right. That's what that second is.
You know what I mean? These things, they might be minute, but the minute might even be minute, but it's a large part of our mental entrapment in a paradigm that we did not create. You know what I'm saying? That has to come to an end in order for a new age, a new era, a new time to come about.
You
know,
that's just like that's like going to a bodega and leaving the penny on the counter. That penny adds up. That one penny.
Yes.
Yeah, if you add up all the pennies people left and didn't want the penny for a whole year, that penny is
remember the 27-day challenge that you could compound pennies into $1 million.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? If you stack them in 27-day increments, like one day is 1 penny and next day is 2 pennies. You know, it goes on and on and on. But it compounds interest, and you can run up $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, maybe this is something that we should collectively attempt at some point as a unit. You know, what I did want to suggest to the family is that in November on 11/11, you know, and maybe King Simon can give us a exclamation point as an ending of this observation. But people have been asking me, when are we bringing back the quantum meditation, right? Because they have seen results from it. They have felt, you know, the effectiveness of it.
Yes, it
and
was.
I think, you know, going into what we're going into in the winter, regardless of what they say it is or what sort of thing they're going to pull out the bag because they're desperate, it don't matter to us.
Yeah.
I want to acknowledge, I want us collectively as a quantum mind, as a unit, to go into this particular meditation with an intention and shift a paradigm. You know what I mean? And really take command and control and understand that everything is up for grabs right now. Right? Don't allow them to tell you different. They're gonna run circles around you like they got it all under control. They don't.
Facts.
Don't. They do not have things under control.
No.
They do not have the cosmic support to continue these shenanigans. The universe, the galaxy is waiting for us to make exclamations, firm ones, to say enough is enough.
That's right.
Now you played yourself.
That's right. That's right.
We're taking control from here, as we should have been done. So it's
now,
y'all.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Can I shout out something real quick, Brother Rich?
Yeah,
I'm celebrating my 26th anniversary in promotion and production. And it's going to be a private online class and celebration, the Telemetry of Metaphysics, with Phil Valentine, Lloyd Strayhorn already confirmed, and I'm getting a sister and probably about I might call Blue if you want to jump on this, but it's going to be on November the 14th, their birthday, because that's when I did Dr. Sebi back in 2009, and that's what propelled me even more into the promotional world. And so I'm doing it on November 14th from 1 to 4 p.m. That's when you launch 7 Heaven. So yeah, it would be a nice thing because it's a celebration. And everybody, Phil is going to be the closer, but it's going to be from 1 to 4. And it's $30 in advance, and more. It's going to be more after that. So people, if you want to participate, go to my my community section on King Simon Presents. Go to my community section on King Simon Presents, and you'll see the details to my 26th anniversary in promotion and productions. And I want y'all to be a part of it. Also, I have vendors, online vendors. If you want to vend, I only allow 10 slots for that particular event. Because Phil is going to bring a fire. And we all private, so I'm telling you, but we're going to be speaking about the telemetry of metaphysics. We ain't speaking about the jabalicious. We ain't speaking about none of that. We're not speaking about that. We're going to speak about metaphysics. because it's becoming jabalicious to some of these sport people. They loving it, man. They just doing it. Hey, jabalicious. So Phil is going to stick strictly on metaphysics, and because telemetry means the heart of something, going to that mathematical heart frequency and understanding that. So we're going to go to the heart of it from Lloyd Strayhorn's perspective, Phil Valentine, and I'm looking for 2 more. But Blue, I might invite you, and a sister. I'm looking and working on bringing this sister in that day. So let me know. I'll talk to you, and we'll talk to you offline, and I'll make it happen. Because you might as well, because that's when you started your day, man. That's when you started your product back in those days, 7 Heaven. So that would be an honor, man. So let's do that, man.
Yes. Can you, before we end, can you tell us something about 1111 and why is that considered a gateway portal? Why do people, universally acknowledge that as one of those zero vortex points?
Because if you look at the 1111, it's a doorway. But there's 2 ways to that doorway. That's why in numerology, the 11 is not just the number of the spiritual teacher. It's the spiritual insight. That's why I tell people born under that 11 energy or that 1111 energy, that when that 1111 shows up, you got to pay attention not only to spiritually what's happening around you, but what else is happening to you and other people's around you, and don't become deceptive or let people try to deceive you. It's a vortex that opens up doors to spiritual insight, to other realms if you use it correctly. And sometimes there's a method in numerology, especially the Sufism of numerology, Sufi type of numerology. If you look at that number 1111 and imagine yourself going through the doorway, that's another powerful way. Like I said, I study all types of different, and I found that out that you can actually look at the 1111 and create a doorway if you stay focused on it.
We're gonna do that this 1111. We're going through that doorway.
That's a doorway.
And we're gonna end up on the other side of this thing on 1111.
And do it with your eyes too. When I say do it with your eyes, there's a thing called mirror meditation. And I do it in the bathroom a lot, but it peels all of the gelatin of your face and shows you who you really are through your eyes. It's an old mirror meditation that I used to do in the Sufi order, but we can do it because they try to make us afraid of it. But some people have done it and was afraid of what they seen in that mirror.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
Because it really, I've seen a Black Panther, well, something that looked like a Black Panther when I look at myself, because it sheds all of this. It sheds all your skin, and you got to have like 2 lit candles and look directly into your eyes without blinking, and you'll start seeing something totally different.
I told you, I see a monster. I'm a fucking monster. I see.
But
I
hey,
see
but remember,
what they call a monster. I'm like,
but Rich, remember that movie, the day that stood still, or the top, but that with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
When they asked him what he was, and he said, "If you seen me, you'll be afraid of me. If you seen the true me, you'll be afraid of me. So if I see the true you." You got to look in your eyes and you'll see, and ask yourself in your spirit realm through your eyes, ask yourself, who am I? What am I? And where am I? Ask those 3 questions and practice it.
Didn't Bobby say the soul is grotesque? If we ever seen the soul,
yes,
is grotesque?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and believe me, and I was prepared for it. That's why I didn't get afraid. I heard one sister ran out of the goddamn bathroom.
Yeah.
I heard one sister ran out the bathroom.
People not ready for that, you know?
Yeah.
Nah, that's a mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? But there's another side of that fairness. So there's another side of that duality. You may look good as far as your
real
skin.
you. Yeah.
You'll find out your real you in that mirror.
We are all grotesque matter.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Boom.
Encasing and housing this particular spirit, you have to understand that flesh is the lowest oscillating form of matter in this universe. In order for it to be appearing as solid, you know what I'm saying? It's grotesque.
Yeah.
You know, we shit, we piss. You know what I mean? You got to change babies' diapers. Like when you're talking about spirit, which is a light entity, it's a being. You know what I'm saying? Right. This is not this idea of a good time.
That's right. Somebody just said candy man. I said, yo, look, when you get the wisdom of that thing, you'll get the candy, man. You'll get the candy out of that. You'll get the sweetness of that, because now you're starting to know who you truly are. See, that's why they do those type of things, to make Hail Mary and Candy Man, to make us afraid.
You. Yeah,
they want to spook us away from who we are. Exactly. So, hey, don't play with it, family. If you're not ready for it, don't do it. I've been doing this since I was, 18? So don't do it if you're not ready for it. Believe me, don't do it if you're not ready for it, because it will frighten the hell out of you if you're not ready for something like that. You'll think something is in the house with you. Matter of fact, just the other night, some beings tried to hold me down and snuff me out. Whew. And I had to fight in the spiritual realm to get them off of me. Man. It's just what I had. That's the battle. Sometimes you have to, and then I had to analyze why they was doing that, and then reflect on what was going on in my day and why that stayed in my energy. And then I realized it was one of my relatives was there sending some cursing texts to in a group chat, and I was like, "Yo, I just picked up on that energy, and I guess whatever was happening, whatever they were saying." That attack came to me while I was laying on my bed, and I usually try to do my astral travel. And believe me, family, I had to battle whatever was trying to hold me down and snuff my breath. They was actually trying to snuff my breath. Oh, it's powerful in that other realm, and that's why you can't be afraid when you go into that realm. That's what Panic be telling you. You can't be afraid. You got to fight. That sword is coming for you.
Hey, real quick before we leave, King Salmon, in that book that I got from you, the book that's real rare. Remember the book I got from you last year?
Yeah. The inner space or inner self?
Inner space technology.
Technology.
It says that, I told Blue this a couple of weeks ago. It says to get rid of psychic energy that may be harmful, make sure you take a cold shower at night. So when you go out there, when you go out in daytime, and you outside around all this energy, make sure you take that cold shower, shock all that, get rid of all of that. You know,
cut it off.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm gonna get. I remember you saying that before, so I've been practicing that, and I think Blue, you said it before too, right? About the cold shower.
Absolutely.
Because especially when you're out there with amongst people at events, we got to cleanse ourselves.
You gotta cut those ties with them cold showers.
The hot cold showers, yeah, man.
I had said that I had came down with something in the beginning. I think it was August, and KT, was the one that reminded me. It was like, go take a cold shower, and it reset my system. You know what I'm saying? It's your default reset. If you got to reset your system so it can start operating at its optimum, cold showers.
Cold showers.
Indeed.
I mean,
leave your contact information before we get out of here, family.
Yeah. At Blue Pillar 44 on Instagram, Blue Pillar 44 at Gmail, and I got a Twitter. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm over there
Black Twitter's gonna come for you.
Twitter.
I got something for him.
That's right.
And that's Blue Pillar 44 as well.
Yes.
All right. Goldwater.com, GOLDEWATER, and cosmicdust.com, COZMIKDUST.com. That's for the drip. And Altar Candy this strong end this Sunday, October 24th from 7 to 11. We're doing a costume party. And we also are inviting out the sister Erica Lachey.
Ooh. Oh, that beautiful
from
sister.
The West Coast. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful, dynamic sister.
Gosh.
You know, pressing the front line for our people. So
yes,
we're bringing her to the A, and it's gonna be dope.
My contact family is, of course, King Simon, $ King Simon 3158, King Simon Productions on Instagram, King Simon Prod on Twitter, KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com, or you can go to King Simon the Numerology on Linktree, and you'll get to everything, products, websites, all my YouTube pages, all of that. And remember, if you want to do a session with me, I am booked all the way into November. If you're patient enough, you'll get that session, because when you do get a numerovation session, I'm here to motivate you. I'm here to help you to navigate better. And I want you to understand that all the numbers that you have in your name and your birthday, you could tap in at any given time. Just be willing to put in that work. Like Billy Carson would say, put in that goddamn work. Stop playing with this. And matter of fact, I got Liana Hanel, holistic practitioner, coming on my show at King Simon Presents. And I have Elizabeth Hoekstra. That's the partner of Billy Carson. Billy Carson. She coming in. Biohack your life. Biohack your life. So I got her coming in on the 27th. She gonna turn it up. And I got both of her, Liana and her, coming in. And I got two new co-hosts. I got Sister New Journey, and I got Sensei Shirley, real martial arts sensei, and they're my two new co-hosts. So we having some fun on there. King Simon Presents, that's my YouTube channel, and the Numerovation Nation, or the Ministry of Numerovation. Those are my YouTube channels. Thank you very much, Brother Rich. I love you, man. Always gonna advertise with you, like I always say, Brad. I love you, brother. Love you and your family. Love you, Brother Blue, all the time. You and the family. Tell the Empress I say what's up. She born the same day as Rich. You know what that is. Tell her she on her number. She gotta get on her number one frequency too. She gotta do that too.
Be on the reset. The
reset.
Hey, family, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. We going over to Know the Ledge Media now. Know the Ledge Media. Tell them Rich, tell Red Pill Rich sent y'all. We out of here, family. Know the Ledge Media. Peace.
Peace.